We're going to call our board briefings to order at this time. Before we get started, just want to say thanks to our vice chair for conducting the meeting. I was out, so thank you so much for conducting the meeting, Madam Vice Chair. Ms. Poole asked me to tell everyone that she is not playing hooky. She's taking a class concerning her job. So, Poole and Miss Barnett, I know she has been in the news lately. Barnett worked in the Dougherty County school system, retired from the Dougherty County school system. She is the aunt of Miss Sarah Lynn Barkley, who was employed and retired from the Dougherty County school system. She was a new Miss Barnett. She's the wife of Mr. Barnett, that was assistant principal at Southside. He was killed in Atlanta, 96 years old. So I'm quite sure y'all have heard that. Okay, had that out. Mr. Superintendent, do you have any public comments or presentation at this time? Need executive session? Okay. We'll go through the agenda for board members, give them opportunity to ask questions, to make comments. Item 1, consideration of the approval of the minutes from the mid-month board meeting held on Thursday, March 31st, 2022. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none. Item 2, consideration of recommendation for employment of personnel. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. Item 3, consideration of recommendation for release of personnel. Questions, comments? None. Item 4, consideration of recommendation and review from the Finance Committee. A. C. Grants. Any questions or comments? 4B, financial reports and budget amendments. Are there any questions? 4C, ARP SSER funds, 6 months review for information only. Are there questions? 4D, FY23 budget development calendar for information only. Are there any questions? Item 5, consideration of recommendation to approve consent items, fundraising requests, A and B out of state field trips. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just for clarification, those are evening activities, skating?
Yes. Are there any questions? Do you have any committee reports? Okay. Then, are you ready for your report?
I do have one item that was on 3, had a date change on Ms. Deborah Sanders. Her retirement date, May 31st, at March 30th. That's item 3. But it date change. Level. It's always good start. Update with COVID-19 data for our county. So our strategic plan, cover 2 items in our strategic plan. So our legislative updates, celebrations, and the items that you discuss. Our 7-day rolling average cases in Dougherty County as of today, 0.71, 1.3 March 30th, which means our 14-day spread is considered low. Our change is decreasing. See our positivity rate is up to 1.2%. It's up from 0.5% at the last report. That has not led to an increase in hospitalizations. In fact, TB has seen its lowest hospitalization and more patients as morning at fever at 10 March 30th. Vaccination update, little change in our vaccination percentages, a few tenths of a percent in each category. Overall, has not been a needle. Still at 54% for the county residents with one dose, 49% fully vaccinated. With cases, 9 active emergency. I don't see that very much of this. Excited about all of that. As you know, I know, see, second most 50 years older. Uh, so, but that's, we don't have a vaccination. That, no, can be handled. Maybe Albany area primary care doctor's offices. Strategic plan, two areas. First, our academic rigor, relevance for all students. I'm not going to read that again. I think I've been doing it the past few weeks, but I always like to highlight the areas that we're working on. That's a busy slide, but what that is a TV health science pathway. And it's a, I think I've mentioned to you before that working effort to educate rigorous and relevant. As part of relevance, TV was from College and Career Academy on Albany State, Albany partnership with the Department of Education and the Southern Regional Education Board had a failing today of simulation lab, where our students go through. They complete the ECA pathway, freshman and sophomore year. They complete the CNA certification, and then the electives for the senior year. Prior to paid internship at FEMA. Complete that, going to the sim lab, going through other activities, and hope is that they will continue their education at either Albany Tech or Albany State Associates of Nursing program, earn their degree paid by FEMA. Then they'll go to work, they continue to work for FEMA, and they master's nursing. They can certainly do it right here with our educational partners, but particularly Albany State with a master's level, and we can retain our workforce right here, try to increase the pipeline of nurses in Albany and Southwest Georgia. You know, there's a nursing shortage, which you might not know, that per capita, we are fifth from the bottom as a state in terms of nurses per capita. We have 28,000 nursing vacancies get to the average nurses per capita in the country. And to get to the top tier, we have to get 50,000 nurses per 50,000. Just to get to the average per capita in terms of nurses, we have 28,000 nurses. So it's reaching crisis proportions, and we're trying to do what we can to work with FEMA and other healthcare partners, in this case particularly FEMA, to increase the pipeline of nurses and other health professionals locally. This program itself going to do it? No, it's not. But it's one of the many solutions that we're trying to implement to help impact that. So they're not going to teach you what we're going into nursing. Another couple of areas, we just signed an agreement with MCLB, base, MCLB Albany, as well as MCLB Longcom. Paid internships. We have about 10 students. I think it's actually 9 students working in paid internships with MCLB Albany base and MCLB Longcom, our logistics students and our mechatronics students. And so this is another great opportunity for us to get relevant work experience that help them have chosen career field. And then last year, we talked about the construction ready program. We are gearing up for that again this year. We started an application process. Those students who are in the field of construction go through a 4-week program at the College and Career Academy. They leave that program with 8 recognized certifications upon completion. And hopefully, not hopefully, but like last year, participants also left with job offer, and they started work the following week. So, it is our plan for that to happen again. The change be plan to see this year have more students. But those are 3 working with in our priority area. Another priority area, investment in capital. We've been talking about that for a while. Talked about also $40,000 base pay for teachers. Incentive $4,000 for special education teachers. Largest area. Those teachers working in Carolina 5 schools. Pension incentives. $2,500 total minimum pay for first year teacher with a master's degree in Georgia. $47,500. We have some school systems in the metro area paying them low 50s or 50,000. I think when you look at it, cost of living, 47.5 in Albany is a lot more than 1,000 in Atlanta. So that's what we are pushing. That's what we're marketing. And also that we don't have as much going on in Atlanta, but that's a good thing. You have fewer distractions. And plus, you're only 3 hours from Atlanta, 3 hours from Jacksonville, 3 hours from Savannah, 3 hours from the beaches in Florida, and an hour and a half from Tallahassee. So you're right in the center of everything. You can get anywhere you need to go. It's a weekend trip. And because cost of living so low here, you have enough money to go and enjoy yourself. But live in Atlanta, all you can do is live there. You can't really do anything. So that's what we're working on. Ms. Allison, you heard it? That's a talking point. That's an elevator speech. We've gotten that perfected. So that's what we're saying when we go out, and we'll let you know how effective it is. A couple other things in this area. As you know, several years ago, we were looking at a charter school coming to town, the Collegiate Academy of Albany. We also were faced with the pandemic, and we eliminated several district level positions as a result. $8,000 in cuts in anticipation of the budgetary impact. Charter school never opened, and as of the amended budget for FY22 and the primary budget for FY23, the austerity cuts have been restored. Funding has been restored. So, looking at that and looking at the need for to fill some positions to evenly distribute some workload in some of our departments, drive some of our strategic initiatives, and fill some unmet needs in our student support services area, social workers, things of that nature. Those needs have increased since the pandemic. Diligently, those needs, but it has become overwhelming for many of our staff members. So we're looking at positions, budget, later, specification prior to the next meeting, and then we'll hope that favorably sustainability plan for those positions. Some of those positions are temporary, and as several areas, and we hope that you favorably upon recommendation budget forthcoming. Has some temporary, some permanent by students. Workload, staff, drive out initiatives. It's all part of our investment calendar. Uh, so we hope updates from the legislature. As you know, legislative session is over for 2022. Very lively session with a lot of things going on. I listed a lot of the bills. So I'm not going to go over all of them. The amended budget, we've gone over that before. It was a good budget for us. We doing our funding for security cuts, about $2,000 supplement for personnel and school systems. Provided $188 million for new buses across the system over a 3-year period. And our funding specifically increased about $2.8 million, not including the one-time supplements, and also not including the bus funding. FY23 budget eliminated the austerity cuts. That was about a $388 million increase over the current year's budget. Provided for not only bonus, but $2,000 pay raise for personnel and professionally certified positions. That's the remainder of the $5,000 governor made campaign. Of course, you remember he had $3,000 in his first budget, had $2,000 in his second budget. When the pandemic hit, we take it out. And last year's budget, we was able to restore it in this budget. So that's a total of $5,000. 5.4% raises for our school nutrition workers and bus drivers. 712,000 statewide for school nutrition program to help offset rising cost of food. As you probably imagine, grocery store cost at the grocery store, we're seeing it to a larger degree with the school system. And although we do have a contract, the contract does make exceptions for circumstances like we have now. So there's a cap on increase with and our food cost. Another $5.2 million purchase career technical education equipment. Not going to go over all these. I included the key legislation. So when I send this to you, you will have it. It gives a summary of each of the House bills, the Senate bills, as well as the study committees. The main ones that we talked about before, House Bill 385, that's return to work bill. Employees, retirees, who at least 30 years of service, have been retired for at least 1 year, can come back to work full time if they're certified in one of the high needs areas, as defined by the vacancies in recent. And for the Southwest region, the areas of math, science, and special education. Our highest vacancies are in math, science, and special education. So it's kind of a line, and like I mentioned in the earlier, usually if you have a large district compared to other districts, that vacancy kind of skews the need. Fortunately for us, with a large district, so it meets our needs. Unfortunately, for some school systems may have other needs that may not align perfectly. My position on this was whether you need a math, science, and special ed teacher or a band teacher. If you're in a small rural area, you need them just as bad as we need another type of teacher. So we really didn't want those restrictions placed on it. However, we're thankful that it was passed in this way, and we'll try to get those restrictions loosened up and future for next year. The divisive concepts bill was passed. Transfer of rights was passed. Recess bill, making it mandatory. I think raised K through 3 was passed. And one of the things did skip one earlier. Was about the high school association. At one time, there was a bill being proposed that would have, in effect, done away with the high school association, create another governance association that was put together with appointments by the state school superintendent, and it was a complicated structure. I don't know if we got a lot of support from the leaders in the state. Did get some traction in the state legislature, rank and file, and several superintendent support. I was not one that supported it. I think that be known. But it did result in a few things happening. It resulted in the high school association the number of classifications, so that it hopefully decreased the amount of travel that schools had to take. That was one of the main concerns that was expressed. There was a bill that added that say any schools that had to go over 75 miles to the high school association reimbursement for travel. That had an effect with a bank towards the high school association. So there's some negotiation that went on. I think there was a little negotiation tactic. Negotiations went on, and that went away. There were some changes made in the governance structure for Georgia High School Association, and I think that appeased that was said. So that went away. But of course, you see, it's a study committee and that as well. So I think that came as a result of those items. But again, like I said, it was a very, very active session because it was an election year. We got a lot more activity than we typically do, and so hopefully next session won't be as active. Celebrations. I mentioned this at the last meeting, but I did not include visuals of it. The Kiwanis Art Showcase, that's Radium Middle Magnet School of the Arts. They won the 22 Middle School Distinction Award.
Yay!
I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was. I can guess, you know. And then Westover High School won the 2022 High School of Distinction in Arts. How did you? Yeah, somebody needs to yell out. No cheer for Westover. Somebody need to cheer for Westover. Mr. Youngblood.
Miss Huntley, you need me to cheer for Westover?
I could cheer. I had 4 children to attend.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And Ms. Huntley was there. We enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. It's always good to celebrate our students when they do well. And we really appreciate the work that they did. And it was, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, I think it'll be on display at the mall. I think this week, if I'm not mistaken, for the high school. I think elementary was there the last couple of weeks. I think high school is coming up soon. I'll get those dates and share. But it was some wonderful pieces, absolutely wonderful pieces. And that's a very talented schools. Celebrations again. Force A Robotics. I think I may have mentioned to you that they won 2 qualifying events. They won the first one in Columbus. That was the first one of the year. They won the one that we hosted in Albany. First time they won that one. They competed in it every year and never won it. They won it this time. And then they went to the state robotics competition, first robotics competition in Macon last week during spring break. And they finished 4th in the state. And they qualified as a result, one of 9 teams to qualify to go to the first robotics world competition in Texas. They'll be leaving next week going.
Yay!
So we're very proud of our Commodores. That's the name of the team, the Commodores.
All right.
at the Commodore Conyers College and Career Academy. So they're doing some great work there. Other items, I mentioned these at the last board meeting. I want to mention again. A few of them coming up. Europe Spring Festival is at the ASU West Campus this weekend. The Albany Area Chamber of Commerce annual meeting on the bricks at the Thronatisca on April 21st. So you have already RSVP. This is a reminder for those that have not. Please let Ms. Johnson know. We have the Commodore Gardens. Gardens at 4C. We'll have a blessing and community event on May 5th. harvest 700 heads of lettuce per week. Also, we're going to have tomatoes and other produce, and we're working a deal now where we're going to acquire some of that, some of those produce from 4CA to use in our cafeterias. We're also going to provide some to the food bank, the local food bank, as well as we're going to take some into the neighborhoods using the mobile fruit stand, produce stand that
Yes.
and taking the community for them to use. And that stand was constructed by our construction pathway students.
Yes.
And the solar power, and the solar panel was installed by our mechatronics students. And then it has a robot arm that does the irrigation, that provides a mist, and that was done by our robotics students. And so it's all done by our students. And if you get a chance to come out there on the 5th, please do. Can't make it on the 5th, let me know if you want to come out some other time, and we'll make an arrangement for you to do that. It's a sight to see. They also have a farm bot. We have 40 raised bed gardens out there, and we did a small prototype of a raised bed garden that has a farm bot, we call it, that was designed by our students that plants, waters, and weeds the boxes. Next, we're working on a camera system, much like you see at sporting events, where you have the overhead camera that takes pictures from overhead to look at the growth, to capture the growth of the produce, so we can be an educational tool, but also for our younger students, get them excited about agriculture. So it's coming together. We're excited about it. We invite you to come out and take a look at it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Ms. Hutley?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Dyer, could we please send an invitation to Mrs. Shirley Sherrod so that she can report on what's happening in that College and Career Academy by way of agriculture to Secretary Vilsack. She's serving on his Equity Commission, recently appointed, and I really want her to see what's going on out there so that we can create that collaborative relationship between our school system and the farm at Cypress Farm.
Yes, ma'am. We certainly can. Ms. Johnson's already taken that down, and we'll do that. And if she can't make it on the 5th, we'll extend the invitation to her for her to come out at any time she wants to. We'll certainly give her an invitation to the event on the 5th. If she can't make it, we'll let her know she can come out any time, and we'll make an arrangement for her to get a personal tour.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
She has immediate access to our secretary, and I happen to know it, personally. And I want us to be able to, in our school system, to have access to that kind of collaborative effort. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that information. May 6th, the day after that, will be the Teacher of the Year banquet at the Event Center at Northwest Library on Dawson Road. The following weeks after that, graduation week, we'll have our retiree banquet. Those that attended last year, we had a good time. We anticipate having another good time this year. At one time we had the retiree banquet and the teacher year banquet together. And we just thought that those two events ought to be separate. Really, that banquet really celebrated the teacher of the year. And our retirees were playing kind of second fiddle. And after they have given so many years to dedication to our school system, we didn't think they didn't play second fiddle to anyone, so they have their own night now. And they really enjoyed it last year. I enjoyed it with them, and I'm looking forward to it this year. Of course, graduation, we don't have on here. It's May 20th and 21st, that Friday evening, and then that Saturday morning. One Friday and two Saturday, we get those dates to you, of course. Then our planning session, the dates that were agreed to on that are 24th and 25th of May. 24th being noon, starting at noon. 25th starting at 5, and we're checking to see if they have a trainer available one of those days to get 3 hours of training. We'll have to meet for that. Yes, man. That's the date. That's the schedule. 12 to 5 and 9 to 5. Of course, it'll play it by ear. We may not need as much time for that.
And can you send us this event?
So we're gonna send it to you. I'll send this slide. We'll send the whole report. I'll also send this information separately. Yes, sir. We'll add graduation. So yes, that's kind of important.
Yes, sir.
And then the GSBA summer conference is scheduled. That information came out today, I think. I'll send it to you. So you already responded about your intent to attend. So 9th, 11th, pre-conference sessions for the training on June 9th. Then the conference itself will be 10th and 11th. That's all I have in my report, Mr. Chairman. But we did mention, I did mention it during the public comments. Our next board meeting is typically afternoon. Traditionally we have student recognition several nights during the year. Because we have been virtual during the year, we haven't had student recognition. We've had celebration slides. We haven't had students come down to the board building. So if schedules would permit, I'd like to have student recognition at the next board meeting. The challenge of that is at noon we got to take them out of school. I'd like to take them out of school. So if time permits, if the schedule permits, I'd like to have that meeting as well. We'll move it to a larger venue, and we can invite all the students to come down. Project starts at 6:30, start at 6. We commit the briefing to just student recognition. Our updates, taking action items after that, if that's amenable to. I don't have the answer right now. Councilman sent email out that have meets everybody's schedule, and if so, then we'll change the meeting to the evening of noon, if that meets the schedule. If it doesn't, then we'll just do that the first meeting in May. Kind of late. I think there'll be a milestone. I don't really bother about mess with that too much, but we'll see what we can do. That we just thought about the fact that since we're back in person now for the making sure our students come down with their parents and recognized by the board in person. April 28th, regular scheduled date for the meeting. It's just trying to move to person. 6, yes sir, 6 of them. I think you don't need that. Your appointment book, I'll give calls as though action is to be taken on that until the next meeting anyway. I have any questions?
Any questions or comments to the superintendent?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Bush, Reverend Bush.
would you tonight give us a balance on our reserves and tell me if the $3 million from in the grant from the people up in Atlanta, is that part of the unbalanced reserve?
Yes, sir. Our reserve, our projected reserve for the end of the year, end of the fiscal year, is $34 million, and that does not include the grant for the $3 million grant that we received from Georgia Power. It's a $3 million grant, about $750 a year for the next 4 years. That's not included in that figure. That's in addition to that figure. These are our general fund reserves, not grant fund reserves. So that's in addition to the $34 million that we have. This is the result of, first of all, good leadership, excellent leadership, fiduciary leadership board, and Ms. Hatcher and her team doing an excellent job of managing those resources. resources. As you know, we haven't skimped on any investments. Everything our students have needed, we provided. And we're able to roll the millage rate back 4 out of the last 5 years and still build a reserve, larger reserve we had in our history. And that's going to provide us with resources we need to help meet our students. You know, struggling since the pandemic with emotional issues, behavioral health issues. Of course, I know you heard about the learning loss. We're going to have some information on that. I think Mr. Smith is going to provide it on that to the Academic Instructional Accountability Committee, then we'll get into the board at the next meeting. Those we have some challenges, and like we said, this began. It won't be dealt with in a year. It's a multi-year approach. We began with targeted support and remediation. Summer Race to Learn, then targeted remediation support this year. It's our second phase of second year of our Race to Learn summer program. And it's going to be a multi-year approach to this, and the resources that we have been able to accumulate and the funding we've received from the federal government, by ESSER money, is really going to help us meet the needs of our students. But as I've said multiple times, academic component is a small component. Non-academic needs that our students have that create barriers to learning. But what goes in the classroom, they're not going to be able to underline issues that are facing our students. Help them address those so they'll be in a position to the teaching taking place in the classroom. That's the plan we have prepared for you. That's included, has been included in our budgets today. It's going to be amped up in our 2023 budget for the next couple of years. We got to a point where we get that back down and get back to what I think is normal. Not so sure that this is not the new normal for a while. I'm prepared to address those in terms of the funding that we have, resources that we have available to us. We're going to meet those needs because we have no choice but to do. Which was a long answer to a short question. $34 million is what we're projecting, and that's in addition to the grant money we received. We've been awarded by Georgia Power.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, let me ask, I know that public relations people are doing a good job, but I was just looking back in the, at some of the interviews by some other governments in this areas, especially Lee County. I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, Mr. Youngblood, you might remember this, Billy Mathis was interviewed, and they did a big splash about they had, I think, $2 or $3 million surplus, and Channel 10 waxed eloquent with it. And sometimes, you know, I've been around government all of my adult lifehood, and I have never ever had the occasion to see you know, management of the system and the monies for our school system, any government, none. And, you know, I just, sometimes, you know, I think sometimes people just want to talk about things that they want to talk about. But I think that we need to encourage them to talk about the management and the good stewardship of our state and our school board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Bush. Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions or comments, we're going to end our board briefings, and we will go into our call our regular board meeting to order. To ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence and pledge to allegiance. Superintendent, do we have any public comments or presentations at this time?
Sir.
We have a motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Hardly second.
Item 3, changing the effective date of Ms. Sanders to 5/30.
Thank you. Hardly seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Agenda is adopted. Consideration for the approval of the minutes of the mid-month board meeting held on Thursday, March 31st.
Mr. Chair,
Right?
Hardly, I move.
Ms.
Second.
Hutley had moved, Ms. Hutley and Ms. Strother both moved at the same time. Okay, Ms. Hutley, I'm sorry, Ms. Strother with second. Have been properly motion to second. We approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is passed. Minutes are approved. I entertain a motion for a consent agenda through to 5B.
I make a motion.
All right, motion
Consent
by
agenda
Ms.
to
Strother
35.
and second. Get a second, Ms. Youngblood. All right.
Second.
All in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
All
Hello.
opposed?
Aye.
All right, the motion is passed. The consent agenda is approved. Superintendent, do you have anything else at this time? Any other board member have anything at this time? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion
Second.
is second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.